Scott and Sam, the AM.
Good morning. Welcome to episode 17 of Scott and Sam in the AM. We've got a lot to talk about this week. I think this is the first week we might have more good than bad. Scott, how you doing this morning?
Doing well, man. I gotta. If you're just listening to this, you can't see this, but in the camera, I have a mark on my forehead. I ended up back at jiu-jitsu for the first time in like 6 months, and all went well because the blue belt, who is turning a purple belt, did not show up. He's 220-pound wrestler, state champ wrestler, who just absolutely destroys me every time I go. He wasn't there, so I got to roll some white belts, some bigger ones, and then at the end, I rolled with the coach, which is Junior, my friend, and he smushed my face a little bit, as he typically does. So, but it was good. It felt good to get back at it. I was just a little tired getting up that early after Big Reese is not sleeping through the night, period. So I love my boy, but my God, we need to get back on the sleep train.
I'll tell you what, this magnesium that you got me taking, my God, it knocks me out.
Yeah. Do you have weird dreams or anything? Do anything weird when you're sleeping?
I have a lot of dreams. I
Yeah.
can't remember them, but I know I'm
Yeah.
having dreams, and I don't normally have dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. Magnesium's good. The glycinate, the one that I put you on, it's a much milder sleep for me. I was taking that citrate, I think, or something like that, the one that comes in the stuff Calm. Like Olivia will not let me take it because I get like aggressive while I sleep. Like I start talking and like I'll start like I'll sit up, like I'll just do. It's just not good for me, dog. So glycinate's good though. I'm good with that.
I like it a lot. I'm taking more supplements than I've ever taken in my life. Before, like as I'm cooking dinner at like 7 o'clock, I'll pop two of those magnesium potassium pills, and um, and then when I wake up, I'm taking electrolytes and creatine, and then I'm taking I've been drinking a lot of chia seeds, just like chia seeds and water. I keep reading how good it is for your digestive tract, and psyllium husk. It's psyllium PSYLLUM. It's like a powdered grain, and you mix it with water, and it gets very thick very fast. You have to drink it with a lot of water, but it's like essentially a fiber supplement.
Yeah.
And I do that with my lunch, so just mixing things throughout the day. But seems to be working.
You don't take it at night? I feel like you take it at night. Let yourself kind of digest it.
I try to spread them out. Like it said, the psyllium husk, they said, like is very aggressive on your digestive tract, and try to spread out 2 hours from taking anything else. So I just do the morning stuff, the middle of the day stuff, and then the pills at night.
How's your
My
lean
poop journey?
No, I don't give a fuck about that. Your lean diet that you're going on that you said. How long did that last?
No, it's still lasting. I essentially the only difference I think if the average person heard my diet compared to yours, like heard my diet, unless they compare it to yours, they think it's pretty lean. It's just like, for me, my only changes that I can really make to keep, unless I want to just be a broccoli and white rice guy for the rest of my life, is limiting the nights per week of any dessert. So like instead of like 3 nights a week, it's got to be like 1. And if it is 1, it's got to be small. And that's about it. Like I really don't eat red meat anymore. Like I noticed by cutting red meat out for whatever reason, I think that helped in dropping my liver numbers the way it did. I don't know why. My body might just not process it very well. I used to eat a ton of red meat, eating more and more fish. Like I'll bake like 3 pieces of the wild caught sockeye salmon. I like sockeye salmon better than the shit you get
Farm raised?
Yeah. Oh my God. The sockeye salmon's like thick and rich.
It's better for you.
And a lot of fruit. Like I'm just eating like an apple every day. Mounds of blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. I'm always going to be a guy who eats a lot of food. It's just like I'm a bigger guy. I do a lot of cardio. Like this morning I did 30 minutes, no hands on the Stairmaster at 10 speed. Like it's, I'm always going to be a guy who eats a lot of food. I just have to control what I eat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's going good. I'm drinking so much coffee. So much. I'm drinking half a gallon of coffee a day.
Because you're hungry?
Because I'm hungry, because I'm tired, like the kids and stuff. But I do cut it. Like I used to go until like 4 or 5 o'clock with coffee.
That's
Now
not
it's
good.
now it's like 2 o'clock, 1
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah. I think for me 3:30 is really the cutoff during the week. That's getting towards the late. But coffee has, I think, a 7-hour half-life. So just add 7 hours to that, and if you go sleep around then, it should be out of your system by then. So
I've been on a major reading kick too. Like I really liked The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's just the way that he talks, Mark Manson, the way he talks is like very direct, kind of like the way I talk. It very much feel like I understand why that book was so popular. It feels like you have someone kind of scolding you and telling you the realities of life. I had a tough time with meditations.
tough. It's a tough
I
one
had
to
a
read.
tough time with meditations. Like I had to stop it and start it probably 3 or 4 times before which I've done that before with books. Like I'll read 40 pages. I won't read it for 3 weeks. I'll read something else and I'll pick it back up and read 30 more.
It's kind of, that book is something you kind of just go back to, like passages and stuff that you like resonate with. And, I don't think it's like a read from cover to cover, type of book. To me, it's not. It's a journal entries.
I loved Shoe Dog. I had never read Shoe Dog before.
Good book, yeah.
I think I'm starting to I loved that. I love Tony Hsieh's book, the guy who started Zappos, Delivering Happiness. I love those.
He died, right?
Yeah, he died. He got terribly addicted to drugs and died. In a fire. Like it was like high on ribbons.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's sad.
And who was the other guy? Jordan Belfort's memoirs, whatever you want to call them. Like I love memoirs.
Yeah.
Good memoir.
Have you read Elon Musk's book before?
No.
It's good.
I'm gonna get a new one this weekend. So
It's good. It's a good book.
I just 15 minutes of reading. I knock out a couple chapters at night, and my eyes are barely staying open. It's the best thing to fall asleep to.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've been going against my word of leaving my phone downstairs because I've been meditating before bed, and I use my phone to meditate, so I can't leave it downstairs. And it's kind of like a catch-22 because I don't want it up there, but I feel like I'm still doing something good. So
You should see if you go on Amazon, get like an old school Walkman from our childhood, a CD player.
and I'll just record it myself.
No, I'm sure he has a CD of it.
That'd be funny to find. I bet you I could find it.
You can find everything on Amazon now.
Actual CD.
Do you have one CD that you can think of that you wore out as a kid in your CD player? Like your mobile CD player?
Yeah, I mean, I was a couple of them was Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
And
was not allowed to have that. But yeah.
and I think it's like the Bad Boys for Life. Was it the P Diddy album? That all black album. I had that one.
Okay.
I listened to that, and then
Very different childhoods.
yeah.
You probably had a girlfriend.
I had a girlfriend, yeah. I did have a girlfriend. I actually slept over at my girlfriend's house in 8th grade. Her parents were home.
I was barely having sleepovers with guys in 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. I was sleeping over at my friend's house, calling my parents to come pick me up. This guy's sleeping at girls' house.
Well, it was like her birthday, and her family invited me over. She was Puerto Rican. She was very nice, very sweet family. I remember that. And then
Guys having tamales with scrambled eggs. I'm waking up playing Madden every day by myself.
And then we went on summer break. I'll never forget it. We went on summer break, and I guess for some reason I just going into high school, and I guess I was just I don't need a girlfriend anymore, or did I not have a cell phone? I don't know what it was. So I didn't call her all summer. I was just busy having fun, and my mom threw a surprise birthday party for me at in August. So right before school starts. So 2 months has gone by. Have not talked to her, kind of forgot. And then we were dating all summer, all year prior to this. I go to Mountain Creek with my buddies, and I come home, and she has a bunch of people in my house, including her. And I was just oh hey, like it just like was this really awkward conversation. Like I was like, come on, man. Yeah, shout out
This
her.
guy had
She was
more
very
girlfriends
nice.
by the time he was hitting, before he had hair under his armpits than I've had in my whole life.
Dude, I
My
didn't have hair
CDs
under my
were
armpits till
the-
like senior
the-
year.
The Good Charlotte. Good Charlotte had that huge album, Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. I ripped
That's
that.
Good songs.
When Outkast had 2 CDs come out, it was like the 2 CDs of each guy,
Oh,
and I ripped those too. That was
Yeah.
Outkast was like the most edgy or like PG-13 R-rated thing I had in my life. Like Get Rich or Die Trying, something like that. No way. I couldn't have Call of Duty, like none of that.
Yeah, that and the Eminem album was those are like my 3. I love the Eminem album.
I used to love going to Barnes and Noble and you could put the headphones on and sample the CDs.
Now I didn't have like Barnes and Noble back then, especially where we lived. It was like those CD like mega stores. I don't know, like
Wiz, shout out the Wiz.
yeah, they were called. I guess they were not like franchised or bit like there was a different name. But like you go in there and you could buy any CD. Remember that?
Hell yeah.
Dude, that was and like the parental advisory sticker on the bottom. Yeah, that made you want it even more.
Hell yeah.
Damn. And then my last ever CD that I remember, this is when I was older, I was in high school, but my car still had a CD player, was my buddy burned me the soundtrack to my life by Kid Cudi. You remember that CD? That was like his best album ever. And then he kind of fell off, stopped smoking weed. But that was my last CD that I remember having. And that was it. And then you're on to the iPhone. Yeah. Good times.
Probably a podcast for a different day, but as we were in high school, 2007, 2009, that's when the CDs started to go away, and LimeWire and FrostWire began to just take over the world. If you paid for a song, you were a dud.
Yeah, I remember paying for like 12 songs. I had like 12 songs in my iTunes library, and that was like the extent of it. That's all I could get.
Wasn't it $1 a song?
Dollar a song, yeah.
Wow.
99 cents.
Wow. It's crazy to think how far technology has come that now you can just have Spotify for $12 a month or whatever.
Did I tell you, have I told you about my dad's Sirius XM subscription?
No.
Okay, so back when Sirius XM was like the new thing, my dad got sold on a lifetime subscription, and he could pass it on to a family member after he passes on. And so, I remember this. He's all hyped about it. He probably spent like $500 at the time for a lifetime subscription. And like fast forward to last year, he comes over to my house. I go, so what's going on with your lifetime subscription? And he goes, I still use it. And he goes, it's actually turned out to be a great investment, right? It still actually exists. All the satellites are still working and it works great. I'm like, yeah, but how's the songs like kind of come out? He's like, well, they do repeat them a lot. He's like, but there's no ads, it's great. They do. I get mad because they play a lot of the same songs. I'm like, have you ever heard of Apple Music? And he goes, no, what's that? I go, you can play any song at any time, no matter what it is. He goes, seriously? I go, seriously. He pulls it up, $9.99 on his phone, and he's like, I guess I did get hosed on the satellite radio. I crushed him. For that. He thought like 20 years later that he's like, I told you this was a good investment, because his brother was like, that's the dumbest investment you could have ever made.
You hear like guys doing I know Mark Cuban, I think he bought lifetime flights with American Airlines for $250,000 in like the 90s.
That's a good deal.
It might have even been less than $250,000.
Yeah. Well, he's all about if you know you're going to use something multiple times, buy it in bulk. I remember him like making a video about like buying
$125,000 in 1990.
Wow. First class? He's so rich though. He definitely does not fly American.
Well, he has a relationship with them. He owned the Dallas Mavericks, and their arena was American Airlines Arena. So I believe he owned the arena, and then he leased the naming rights to American. American might be based in Dallas. Usually those guys have like those connections like that.
But my point is, he probably spends like half of that on an international private jet flight.
I'm sure he owns a jet now, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but it's
American
just like,
Airlines is headquartered in Fort Worth. So they probably had a brand deal, partnership. So this week, we're starting to, knock on wood, slowly start to see the fruits of our labor come to fruition. A couple dominoes falling. To catch everyone up to speed, if you didn't listen to the first 16 fantastic episodes, we are buying real estate left and right. We bought a property last week. We were going to buy a property next week. Looks like we might wholesale it instead. But we've been very aggressively buying. On top of that, managing a lot of projects and all the cost and time that goes with them. Learning as we go, myself especially, the importance of having the right contractors, multiple contractors, managing all that stuff. It's way more than I anticipated. Managing cash flow, which is probably the most difficult thing if you're going to flip houses with scale. But the whole grand plan was, if we just do enough and enough good deals, when they start to sell, it's going to be really nice. So we've sold 2 in the last 30 days. We got another 2 hopefully set to sell this month. Another one we just listed yesterday. Another one we're listed next week. So the vision kind of coming to reality is nice to see.
The vision coming to fruition. That is the name of this game. Just keep showing up and just don't run out of money. Survive.
It's a lot different than wholesaling. Wholesaling is just, you can do as many deals as you can stomach to do. The more you're willing to pick up the phone and work hard, you're going to do more deals. With flipping houses, it's such a financial and time commitment. The ceiling is only as much as you have to put into it. So we're going to get through this big wave we have and then sit down. We'll do a company retreat at the end of this year and sit down, look at everything in totality, and do what we've always done, which is, how can we do it better? How can we do it more efficiently? How can we add to our team to raise our ceiling?
Yeah, I think two flips a month is the goal. To sell 2 flips a month. How many do you need to have at one time in varying different orders, which is, obviously 24 a year, plus the wholesale deals, and then hopefully the year after that, new builds, all at the same time. I think that's the...
You getting scared for a fund now? You don't want to do a fund anymore? Reading bad
No.
stuff in the news?
No, but I don't know if this is the best time and opportunity to go after those types of assets, honestly. I don't know. Things have been climbing in value for so long now, and it's like so many people they're starting to get washed out. Debt is starting to come due. People are starting to lose properties. And there's going to be a point where it will there's maybe not 100%, but there's going to be a point where things they look like you no longer even want to be involved in stuff like that. And that is the time when you really want to go after them. And I don't know if personally I'm ready to drop everything I'm doing now to focus on one large deal. I would do another RV park. I actually got a call from a guy yesterday. He just sent me the NDA for a tiny home park in Picayune because the Sunroamers, he called and he said the guy's looking for $7 million, and it does about $1 million in revenue and 500 or so in net. So not like crazy far off from Sunroamers, and he's trying to get $7 million for it. But it's actual tiny homes. It's like 100 of them or something like that. So obviously, I don't think that's what we want because it's like fully stabilized. But he did say there's some value add. But something like that, whether it's like tiny homes or mobile homes or even RV parks, I really like the tiny home thing, man. So many people want to live in tiny homes and keep their expenses down, and they're very attractive in my opinion.
Yeah, and to give our viewers and listeners some perspective, what we're talking about is, you kind of hear us talking live of where we want to continue going and the pivots we want to take. We talk every day about Well, like the analogy we used earlier was we see guys in the news, Brandon Turner had that video, other people, he's talking about these loans coming due, these people who bought these massive assets, 9 figures of debt coming out of COVID when rates are really low. Well, those massive commercial loans typically only have a 3-year term policy. So in 3 years, you got to pony up. You either got to sell it, you got to refinance it, whatever. These guys were not counting on rates going up by 40% and then holding. So when rates go up by that much on that size of a loan, you're talking about tens of millions of dollars in lost net income, which then in turn reflects the value of the property in a negative way that you weren't planning for. These guys are all planning on it going up. We look at it the same way when we're doing small 6-figure loans, right? Or even we have a couple 7-figure loans. But we take it extremely seriously. You have to pay the debt first, and the asset has to pay for the debt. So all these little lessons that we're learning from other people and learning from ourselves, I think it's a really good thing to see and be aware of. And we very quickly got out of the Burr game because the Burr game in theory is great, but in reality, it's just a lot of debt, and the debt has to get paid. So just to kind of put a stopgap on that for our readers or for our listeners, debt, not all debt is good debt, and a lot of debt is not is not great either. We're trying to balance our livelihood, our cash flow, our aggressiveness, and our growth, leveraging debt the right way, but not getting over our heads, and that's tough.
Yeah, but the Burr, that's not the reason why because we didn't want more debt. The reason is because you get 75% of debt on a single family home, which means you're leaving 25% in the deal, which means that if you're flipping that property, the 25% realistically is your profit. So if you're willing to leave that in the deal, you're probably not making anything on the deal. So if you're living off of active real estate, which is what we do, flipping houses and stuff like that, you need to make a profit on the deal. You don't need to do it on every single one. If you burr one a year and flip everything else, that's fine. But like, if that's like your main strategy, you're just going to be cash poor, like all the time. And unless your expenses are so low personally, and then you have a lot of money saved and you're kind of just recycling your money.
Or you make regular active income elsewhere.
Yeah, or you make money in another avenue. But if you don't do that, then it's kind of, it just doesn't really make a ton of sense for us, like for our model. It makes a lot of sense for people who don't need the money, and that's why I said 1 or 2 a year. But also those guys, they bought in areas, this is totally unforeseen, that got crushed by hurricanes, and it skyrocketed insurance, and it also scared away buyers, which even if your debt goes, it goes up by, the rate doubles or whatever the case may be. Now those things are trading they were at 5 caps. Now they're trading at 6 caps or 7 caps, which just means the value of the property is so much less than when you bought it. Even if the debt, you have to refinance in obviously when Brandon Turner's thing, like he was raising rents and he was, the thing was on course. But the only thing he really couldn't predict was that these assets are no longer going to trade at 5 caps or 4 caps or whatever the hell he bought it at. They're going to trade 2% more than that because of outside circumstances like hurricanes. And who the hell is going to predict that? Especially in Texas, it really wasn't a thing up until like the last 5 years. I don't think. I could be wrong. But it's not like New Orleans where everyone knows you're at a hurricane risk every year.
And if what he's saying sounds foreign to you, essentially what he's saying is all of these different factors in commercial real estate, large scale commercial multifamily real estate, they play off of one another. So when rates go up, debt is more expensive. When debt is more expensive, there's less buyers, there's less demand. So supply is going to increase. As supply increases, the buyers who are still buying have more options to pick from. So they're going to get a better deal. So they're going to buy at a better cap rate for buyers, a higher cap rate. I live in Philadelphia. Nothing here sells for a 10 cap. Scott lives in New Orleans. Nothing there sells for a 5 cap because of demand relative to supply. That's the easiest way to look at it. And that demand and supply all comes and changes from some core value, whether it's an outside thing like COVID or a hurricane or interest rates or whatever. But it's all math behind it. It's all very literal.
There's also a lot of land in Texas. There's nothing that's, locked in. So they just keep expanding. So like the supply can just keep growing, which is kind of what happened. That's why you can buy like a house that looks like $1 million house there for like $500K. It's crazy. Like you just have to drive an extra 30 minutes down the road from Dallas and you could be in some mega mansion. You pay $600,000 for it. Like just because you can just keep going, and then not to mention with rates go up that, assets have to trade at a lower cap rate. At a higher cap rate because that's pretty much your delta spread. If it's not a value add, like if you borrow at 6%, you got to buy it at 7%. You have to at least have some spread there. So, yeah, it's tough, man. It's so cool to look at those people and be like, oh man, I wish I could do that. And then you read about these stories and you're like, damn, it's not always the grass isn't always greener for sure, but.
Yeah, and the thing you got to remember with these guys, and I'm not knocking on them, these guys are going for it, and they're trying, they're super ambitious just like us, and I'm sure 99% of operators have really good intentions with it, and no one can predict the future like a hurricane or COVID or things like that. It's just a lot to think about. It's a lot to evaluate and help us make our future decisions of what we want to do and how we want to operate. Taking other people's money is the most high pressure thing that you can do in this business or any business. And we take it very seriously, whether we borrow $100,000 from someone or $1 million from someone, you got to pay them first before you pay yourself. That was the thing that kind of stood out to me when I'm reading about these articles of these guys defaulting on 9 figures of loans they just are not paying their debt service. I know because the asset doesn't cover it. I guess it gets to a point where when you're that big, you just kind of wipe your hands and be like, I lost.
You can't. Like that's the risk that they're taking. Like that's why everything is DSCR. Like no one can afford the debt service of a $300 million asset. Like what is that a month? Like it's not in anybody's realm of being able to afford it. Like it's the asset that's affording it. That's why these loans that you're signing up for, they're not even tied to the borrower.
It's probably $275,000 a month.
It doesn't even, whatever, but it's not even tied to the borrower is my point. Like you're not personally guaranteeing these loans because what the hell does it matter? Like if you lose, I'm taking your asset. That's all I get. What am I going to do? Put a lien on you for $300 million? Like it's a joke, right? So yeah, of course they're not, like if the money's not there, they can't make it up. Like, Brandon Turner tried to raise it. Like he tried to raise more money. I think he did. And, they paid back some people, like the A preferred people who I guess put in more money. That's how those tier systems work, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot over my head, but whatever, man.
Remember, these guys doing this are just everyday guys, just like you and I. Like they're not going, there's no school you can go to for this. It's experience and learning and take a lot of shots and getting there and marketing yourself and selling yourself and it's just it's just a regular guy or gal at the end of it.
Yeah, you just hope that they have surrounded themselves with very smart, intelligent people who help them make these decisions. None of these things are being done by one person really. And so be it. That's great. But to go back to our point earlier of
well, what's your thoughts about a lot of the troll comments I read about are just people ripping them saying, well, you made all the fees on it.
Well, they also didn't project that this was going to happen, right? Like all the fees is like someone saying like, oh, you made all this money on a wholesale deal. You're like, well, you also don't realize where it's going. It's like you have people in the comments who have zero clue how these things work. Like zero. And yes, I'm sure he's making money, and I'm sure he has made money, and I'm sure he will continue to make money. But it's also like that is the risk that everybody signed up for. Unfortunately, like if you don't like it, you probably should go do your own deal. Like as harsh as that is, like, and go take the risk all by yourself. You put your money into another person for whatever reason. He sold you on something, and probably 9 times out of 10, those people have made out okay. So it's easy for people to go like, well, he made his money and all this stuff. You're like, well, he also has salaries and staff to fulfill, and all of these things that he's paying just to even go find this deal. Look, it went bad. I think when I read it and I saw it, I feel like he did as much as he could, at least in the media. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, and it's not for me to decide, but I don't know. It's going to happen to more people in other deals.
Listen, it's investing. It's not leaving money in a checking account. There's always risk.
Yeah, everyone's, and you're going to get so much hate. Like, you're going to, and people are going to be upset and stuff like that. I would like to think that everyone who invested was accredited. I would like to believe that. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure the rules around his fund, but yeah, I mean, look, do I want to get a fund someday? Yeah, probably. But I also like the idea of flipping houses and then starting to build. Like, whether we borrow money for that, maybe. Yeah, that's fine.
You want to build houses? You want to build commercial?
Houses.
That seems like a super high risk business to me.
Well, I mean, what's any different than flipping a house?
What we talked about even this morning, my video this morning, you got to push a ceiling of an ARV. So if you're building new construction, the costs are what they are. You're not going to be building houses to sell them for $300,000. Like, it's going to be some level of upscale, some level of luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Just scares me. I don't know.
Well, you said it very confidently as like, oh, that's a risk I'm not comfortable with. Like, why?
Rewind the tape. I just said, sounds like a risky business. Does it not? Building single family homes?
Well, no, but why? It's kind of what we do now.
Smaller buying pool as opposed to flipping a house for $300,000.
How much is the one that we're listing next week?
$700,000.
Okay.
$699.
And I'll answer my own question. Why is it risky? It's risky because it's one of those things that can be done at scale. And that's when builders really get into trouble, when they over leverage themselves on too many builds, and then there's no one on the back end to buy them. Very seldomly are you going to lose your shit on one deal, right? Now, if every single one of our properties, no one buys them, it's going to be a tough day, right? Like, so just don't get it twisted that like we're not assuming a ton of risk what we're doing now. It's just I think builders get in trouble because it's the scale aspect of what you can do as a builder can catch up to you way faster than a flipper who might have 4 projects going on at a time, which would probably be a decent amount. A builder, if you're building some sort of track, like there's a bunch of them next to each other, I don't know, 20, 30 at a time, that's when the numbers get way bigger.
What about the idea of building like a commercial, like a strip mall, apartment building, things like that to keep?
What I've heard and what I've been told is the cost of building it makes it very hard to make any real money in that right now. Just the sheer cost of it. Yeah, I mean, it all comes, there's so many factors, dude. Like, it's like, are you building it on spec and hoping that you lease out the property? Like, are you building it for a tenant? Like, that's a completely different model. Like, that is probably the model that I would do if I was going to do it. Like, some guy just built a Trader Joe's. Like, the returns are way lower when you're building for a specific client to lease your property from you, but they're a lot more predictable. And there's a company around here that literally made their living on it, and they did it like they started in like the early 1900s, 40, 50, I don't know. Some they've been around for a long time. And I was talking to one of their guys, and he was saying, he's like, we say no to almost everything that doesn't have a tenant on the other end waiting to be that, and of like not just any tenant, like an Ochsner or something like that. Like they are ready to go, and they're signing, 20-year leases, and they're building it specifically for them. Completely different world. I would love to do that, but not an easy thing to break into either.
So we are halfway through the year now. What would you say? I feel like this year has been a lot different than other years we've had in the past. Trying a lot of things, a lot of ups and downs. What would you say so far that you've learned this year in business? We'll keep it in business now. How do you kind of look at it? I know how I think, but how are you kind of looking at this year, looking at what we're doing, you're doing differently? How do you view yourself maybe a little bit differently? First full year as a dad.
Yeah, I mean, keeping it business related, I don't really think about it. I think about where we're going, and I think the path that we're going down is the right path. I don't spend too much time on, how have I changed, but more or less just I like that we're investing more. I like that we're doing more hands-on projects. Being okay with actually like going after smaller projects like flips and stuff, which is kind of something that like we thought we wanted to get away from and go towards bigger things. And we did some of that, but then realizing like, all right, like those are good, but I like having the volume side of it. I don't like being passive at all. So, and I still think, we're keeping up on the wholesale end in terms of, it was definitely less, but I think it is starting to ramp back up while still having everything else that we're doing now, which we never had in the past, which is all these flips. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good path that we're headed down.
The volume is stressful. We could work way less and have way less time and financial stress if we just chose to do 2 flips at a time. But it's not really the way we are. What is nice about the volume is it really provides a sense of mitigated risk. One project goes over budget, doesn't look great. Well, we got this other one that looks fucking awesome. It'll take care of it. Like I do like spreading that out a good bit. I like having a bunch of irons in the fire. Most of the irons, knock on wood, are going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't really felt, I don't know, maybe this is just my tolerance or whatever, but I haven't really had the, I'm grateful for this, to not really have the stress component that you're referring to on a regular basis. Like, I feel like I don't know why, but I don't know. It hasn't really worried me like I have worried about things in the past.
Yeah, maybe I don't use the word. Everyone uses the word stress differently. I'm not having panic attacks at night. I guess I just mean, like the mental fatigue of doing something every day that you've never done at this level of speed and scale before. There's a lot going on. It's not rocket science, but there's a lot of money flying around, things to keep track of, organization to keep track of. A lot of things that, I'm a guy who I always was focused on one thing, sales. Sales, keep it simple, move as fast and as hard as I can. And as I've just taken more things on my plate, I get more responsibilities as an owner, as an entrepreneur, or whatever you want to call it. There's just a lot of more things that I need to juggle and, in my own head.
Can you call it something else then?
Yeah.
Can you stop using the word stress? Because that stresses me the fuck out.
Really?
Yeah, it's just annoying. I'm like, dude, why are you so stressed? And I don't think you are.
Just different. Okay, different. Like just spending my time. I'm a very, very black and white guy. Like it's just the way I've always been. And I like moving, especially in my work life. I don't like not having like I keep talking, like for example, I keep talking, I've said to you, I'm like, man, I really want to take end of this year, take off a couple weeks, just put my phone down, spend a bunch of time with my family, you know, just live for a couple weeks and then pick my head up January 1st and get back to it. I already know that that's going to last like 3 days. I like the chaos. Like I love it. I love, and I love what you get out of it, that feeling of accomplishment as, things dominoes fall. But yeah, it's just like a lot of things that are bottlenecked to us that we're responsible for.
What
Some
about
of them I've never done
chaos?
before, and yeah, chaos. That's a good one. Control chaos.
Control chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like burying my head in my hands every night being like, what am I doing? It's just like the days are flying, like the days are flying.
Yeah, but I think your words are super powerful. Like even if you don't even realize what you're saying, like you're internalizing it in a certain way that I think can be a problem for somebody, for people, like in general. Like they talk, when you catch yourself saying words and then you're like, God, why do I feel this way? You kind of like bringing it upon yourself.
That's a good point. That's valid for sure.
So I don't know.
Sure.
I've been, I think the meditating has helped me kind of see that as like a lot of how I used to feel is just because that's how I always felt. Like it was like it's like a habit that I feel was stressed about a certain thing, stressed about money. And I'm like, that's just things that have happened in the past. And then my body gets used to that. And my body's like, all right, like this is how you feel now when this topic comes up, or like when this event happens, even if your circumstances are completely different. For that time being, your body doesn't know any different at all. So then I start thinking about like, all right, like how do I see myself in the future? Like what is my future? And then I try to have feelings off of that opposed to, and that's helped me a lot. Like when things come up, like especially like anything related to just something going wrong at work or something, I'm like, okay, why do I feel this way? I feel this way because I've always felt this way. Not because it's actually real, and then kind of move forward from there. Get over it.
A really nice thing about having a partner, for anyone listening or debating having a partner, is there's so many things where I'll be like, that bothers you? And you're like, yeah, like that, like I need to handle that, and this is why, or we need to handle it. And then there's a million things where I'm like, dude, I got to do this. And you're like, just do X, Y, Z. And then that's it. Like, it's very, it just goes to show so much of this stuff is made up in your own head. I think my head also sometimes tries to fill, not sometimes, definitely all the time, tries to fill the gaps with problems inherently. I have a very hard time just enjoying. I think it's because of like a fear of not getting the results I want or not having the success I want. So I create that urgency or that panic to kind of push me in some sicko way.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of explaining exactly what I was saying about going back to your past as to like why you are smoking up problems for no reason. You're sitting on your front porch drinking coffee and you're just like, whatever. I don't know. But I think it's pretty normal. A lot of people do that, me included. And like just being conscious of it helps a lot to realize like, oh no, like this is a completely different set of circumstances. Like I'm not that person that I was. Even I don't have to feel that way. I don't know. It's definitely helped me a lot. And then also just having like a big goal, like a big vision of a goal that, you get away from, but like when you kind of just like set that intention and then just like put it out into the universe and then just kind of go about your day, like you kind of inherently gravitate towards that. You don't even realize you're doing it. It's like setting goals and then you go back and look at the list. You're like, oh shit, like I kind of accomplished all these things. I wasn't even consciously doing it. Like I think we all should have like working off of some sort of grandiose goal that seems like it seems impossible. Like it seems like it's not a realistic thing at all. And I think that's the only thing that gets you up. If it's a realistic goal, like it's like, okay, I'm not going to go above and beyond for that. When people say, I just want to pay my bills, man. I just want, that's great. You know, like that's good. But you got to think 20 steps past that. You know, like that is just a byproduct. And like, if that's your end goal, like you're not going to get up and do the things that are really required for you to be successful. So I don't know.
I also think investing time and money back into yourself just inherently makes you feel better. Getting my Tesla back and not driving the Subaru anymore, I just feel better.
Dude, fucking so funny, bro. I listen to Brendan Schaub. He does live. All of his podcasts are live now, so he answers the fan questions on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. And one guy was like, he goes, B, I just bought my wife a Subaru Crosstrek, man. What do you think about those? And he responded, he was like, he's like, what do I think about those? He's like, yeah, man, I really like the STI WRX. My brother used to have one, but anything else, lesbian. And I was like, damn, dude. and I was like, Sam's got to hear the Crosstrek. Yeah, sorry, dude.
The day I was trading it and I stared at it like on the lot and like I had cleaned it out, all the stuff's out, like all the doors open. I'm like, oh, this thing was really beat to shit. I didn't realize it. I've been driving this thing around. Oh my God.
Yeah, you picked me up and there's shit everywhere. I'm like, God, dude, at least keep this motherfucker clean. Yeah. I got kids, dude. Not an excuse.
It is so nice having a bigger car for our family, like extra cup holders, extra space. Like, just, God is nice.
God is good.
Be the Yukon of houses.
God is good. That's next. You'll.
That's what my vision has been. One vision now for 3 years, which is just like I don't have like a picture of like what the exact like I just picture like a nice house, but a really nice piece of property with a pool, and my kids like running around and having fun. Like I just picture that like it's like a quasi vision that I have. I don't really have a time stamp on it. I would say probably before my son goes to school. So like in the next 2.5
3 months.
Real school.
Yeah. Hey, dude, this is real school. According to you, it's real school.
Cost real school.
Yeah. Conor McGregor fights this weekend. Are you going to stay tuned? No, I'll be sleeping.
Oh, no, I'll be watching the highlights.
Oh, God, dude. So sad. I'm going to skip taking you. Since you skipped taking me, I'm going to skip taking you to the UFC in August. How about that? Not a real fan, dog.
Thank you to Home Depot. Brought us to the World Cup, bringing us to UFC. What is that? UFC
330, I think.
330.
Yep, 330.
So
Ian Machado Gary.
Next NBA Finals.
Yes.
Ian Machado Gary's fighting Islam.
Yep. That's a good fight.
I don't think so.
I mean, he deserves it.
Last name against Islam Makhachev.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, his name is Ian Gary.
Yeah. Her last name is Machado?
Machado. She's Brazilian. He's Irish.
Okay.
Does he look Brazilian to you?
Well, he moved to Brazil to train. Yeah. He trains with Charles.
Like I moved to Narberth.
Right. Damn,
Samuel Grady McGovern.
Say that shit to his face, dog. Say that shit to his face.
I'll yell from the other end of the cage. Well, it depends how close we are to the cage.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
If we're up in the bleeds, I'll yell it.
Yeah, if someone's listening to this no, we're not. I sent you the tickets. We're in, like, right in the, like, the first row. Yeah, first, like, 9th row, section 118, I think, which is, like, right when it starts to slope up, or, like, 9 rows back, which is, I think, pretty primo, because you're off the floor, which you have a vision into the cage. I think it's a really good spot to get.
Scott and Sam Real Estate going to get on this celebrity row cam?
Oh, that'd be sick. Should we get like matching shirts with our logo on
QR code on the back?
Yeah, follow us. Just get punched in the face. Trying to get a beer from the hot dog stand. Like, dude, come on, man.
If they had a promo, they're like, all right, one fan get in the ring with Islam for 60 seconds, and if you don't tap out in 60 seconds, I'll give you $5,000. Would you try it?
Yeah. Just to get tapped out, can he hit me?
You can't tap out. Like, you can run around, you can play defense, you can hit him.
Can he punch me?
But he has 60 seconds to tap you out or knock you out.
No. For $5,000? Are you fucking kidding me?
You
no.
Spend $5,000, you get it if you survive.
Yeah, I know. It's not worth getting kicked. He will knock me out. It's not about if he only could grapple me, I would just be like, all right, well, At worst case scenario, I get subbed. But worst case scenario is I get kicked in the head like Volk did and knocked out, and I'm out
60
for
seconds is a long.
That's a long
60 seconds of
time,
your life.
dude. Never, dude. My God. Now, if there was like a, I don't know, like a Cadillac Escalade on the other side, like an $100,000 car, I'd be like, I'll give it a shot. But for $5,000,
Would you be more inclined to do it against like a straw weight or something like that? Like, who's the kid, Marino?
they would all hurt me very, very badly, dude. It's about the striking. Like, I would be scared to get knocked out. Like,
Right.
I mean, could I shell up? I probably could. They'd probably kick me into oblivion until I released my shell,
Did you
though.
just say you were afraid of a blue belt this morning?
Yes. A blue belt he's a scary blue belt. He's a big, scary man.
Yeah, I couldn't make it this morning.
Yeah, whatever. If you're listening this far, we have one extra ticket to the UFC. We haven't filled the spot yet. What do you want them to do for that one extra ticket if anyone wants to come with us? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment on this podcast in YouTube.
We can't bring a random. What if they're psycho?
What if they're awesome? What if they're awesome? Do you have plans?
I'll tell you
last
what,
person?
If you Matt, if you're still listening to this, you can come. If you're that loyal that you listened 52 minutes in.
No, you know who is going to listen to it? Your boy that I met last time.
Who, Pat?
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, Pat. If you're still listening to
Invite
this,
Pat. Sorry, Matt.
You know what? Rob sells Miami. If you're still listening to this, you can come, Rob.
Dude. Let's bring Rob. There's no way.
That's fine. Allie would like that. He
Yeah.
might still be around. He's in New York.
All right, I'll text him when we hang up. Or he's probably listening. Yeah, sorry, Matt. He got to go to FIFA. Like, come on, man. You can't get everything. We got to spread the love.
The World Cup was sick. That was a cool experience. I've never been to a soccer game in my life, and that was so cool.
That's cool.
The crowd, like, no one was drunk. Like, it was so expensive. I don't think anyone was going to waste that bullet on drinking. You know, like, it was either kids, like executives, or like people from that country who were living and dying with every move.
How much did you tell me that you lost betting on that game?
Oh, no. The goddamn Ivory Coast. Yeah, it was cool, and it was sold out. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I had only been there before for Eagles games and crap. It was nothing like.
Yeah, I can't get behind the NFL. I'm sorry. I probably would love to go to a FIFA game. Maybe in 4 years they'll put us in a box.
Yeah.
We spend enough money with them.
Maybe.
4 years from now, yeah.
All
We'll
right,
be
well,
dead.
Episode 17. Thank you for listening. Thanks for listening to our rants. Hope you're learning something. Hope we're learning
See ya.
something.
Scott and Sam, the AM. Scott and Sam, the AM. Yeah, we giving you the real estate investors, showing you the deal. Two best friends on the grind every single day. Tune in every Wednesday. We got something to say. Scott and Sam, the AM. Yeah, we giving you the real estate investors, showing you the deal. Two best friends on the grind every single day. Tune in every Wednesday. We got something to say.